You've been paying into Social Security your entire working life. Every single paycheck, 6.2% comes out. Your employer matches another 6.2%. That's 12.4% of your gross income gone. If you make $60,000 a year, that's $7,440 annually going into Social Security. Over a 40-year career, that's nearly $300,000. And here's what they're not telling you. By the time you retire, Social Security might not exist. Or if it does, it'll pay you a fraction of what you were promised. Not $2,000 a month, not $1,500 a month, maybe $800 a month, below the poverty line. And the politicians? They know. The math has been public for years, but they keep telling you Social Security is fine, because the truth would cause panic. Today, I'm going to show you the numbers they're hiding, the timeline they're ignoring, and what you need to do right now to protect yourself. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Money Context. If you're new here, this is where we reveal the real story behind money and power, the truth the system doesn't want you to know. Before we dive in, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. This information could literally save your retirement. All right, let's talk about the biggest lie in American finance, that Social Security will be there when you need it. The trust fund runs out in 2034. Here's the fact that should terrify you. The Social Security Trust Fund will be completely depleted in 2034. That's 10 years from now. Not some distant future, 10 years. What does that mean? It means Social Security will only be able to pay out what it takes in from current workers. And here's the problem. There aren't enough workers. When Social Security started in 1935, there were 42 workers paying in for every one retiree receiving benefits. The math worked. In 1950, there were 16 workers per retiree. Still manageable. By 2010, it dropped to 3 workers per retiree. Today, it's 2.8 workers per retiree. And by 2035, it'll be 2.3 workers per retiree. You can't run a system designed for 42 workers per retiree when you only have 2 workers per retiree. The math doesn't work. It never will. The automatic 23% cut. Here's what happens in 2034 when the trust fund runs dry. Social Security can only pay out what comes in from current payroll taxes. According to the Social Security Administration's own projections, that means an automatic 23% benefit cut. Let me say that again. A 23% cut. Automatic. No vote, no debate, just math. The current average Social Security benefit is $1,907 per month. After a 23% cut, that drops to $1,468 per month. That's $17,616 per year. The federal poverty line for a single person is $15,060, so the average retiree will be living just barely above poverty. And that's the average. Half of retirees get less than that. Can you retire on $1,468 a month? Can you pay rent, buy groceries, afford healthcare, and live with any dignity on that? For most people, the answer is no. Why it's actually worse than they're telling you. Now here's the part they're really not telling you. That 23% cut assumes nothing else goes wrong. It assumes the economy keeps growing. It assumes payroll tax revenue stays steady. It assumes no major recessions, no demographic shocks, no unexpected crises. But when has anything ever gone according to plan? If birth rates continue to decline, and they are, there will be even fewer workers paying in. If immigration decreases, and politically it might, fewer workers. If automation eliminates jobs, and it will, fewer workers paying payroll taxes. Every one of those scenarios makes the math worse. which means the cuts could be deeper than 23%. And here's the kicker. The 2034 date assumes Congress does nothing. And Congress will do nothing. Because fixing Social Security requires political suicide. You either cut benefits, raise taxes, or raise the retirement age. All of those are wildly unpopular. So politicians kick the can down the road and hope they're retired before it collapses. The Ponzi scheme's structure. Let's call Social Security what it actually is: a Ponzi scheme. In a Ponzi scheme, early investors are paid with money from new investors. It works as long as there are always more new investors than old investors cashing out. But the moment that reverses, the whole thing collapses. That's Social Security. Your payroll taxes aren't going into an account with your name on it. They're not being invested for your future. They're being immediately paid out to current retirees. The trust fund people talk about? It's just IOUs from the government. It's not real money sitting in a vault. It's treasury bonds the government issued to itself. And when Social Security needs to redeem those bonds, the government has to either borrow more money, raise taxes, or print money. There's no pile of cash waiting. So when people say, "I paid into Social Security, I deserve my benefits," they're technically right. But the money you paid in is already gone. It was spent the day you paid it. Your benefits will come from future workers. And there aren't enough of them. Why younger generations will get almost nothing. If you're in your 20s or 30s right now, let me be blunt. You will probably never see a dime of Social Security. Or if you do, it'll be so little it won't matter. Here's the math. You'll pay into the system for 40 years. At $60,000 a year, that's $300,000 in contributions, including employer match. If you had invested that $300,000 in an S&P 500 index fund over 40 years at an average 8% return, you'd have over $3 million. Instead, you get maybe $1,000 a month, if you're lucky. That's $12,000 a year. To replace that with a safe 4% withdrawal rate, you'd only need $300,000 invested. So you're putting in the equivalent of $3 million in opportunity cost to get back the equivalent of $300,000. You're losing $2.7 million by being forced into Social Security instead of investing that money yourself. That's the scam. Why politicians won't fix it. Every politician promises to save Social Security. But here's why they never will. Option 1. Cut benefits. Political suicide. Retirees vote in massive numbers. Tell them you're cutting their benefits, and you lose your election. Option 2. Raise payroll taxes. Also political suicide. Workers are already struggling. Tell them you're raising taxes another 2 to 3%, and they'll vote you out. Option 3. Raise the retirement age. Same problem. Tell people they have to work until 70 or 72, and they'll revolt. Option 4. Means test benefits. This means cutting benefits for high earners. Sounds fair, except it turns Social Security into welfare instead of insurance. And high earners vote too. Every solution is politically toxic. So they do nothing. They kick the can. They make promises they know they can't keep. And you're the one who pays the price. What you need to do right now. All right, enough doom. Let's talk about what you can actually do to protect yourself. Step 1. Assume Social Security won't exist for you. If you're under 50, Plan your retirement as if Social Security is zero. If it ends up existing, great, it's a bonus, but don't count on it. Step 2. Max out your own retirement accounts. 401k, IRA, Roth IRA, whatever you have access to, max it out. This is your money, not the government's, not a Ponzi scheme. Actual investments in your name that compound over time. If you're 30 and you max out a Roth IRA, $7,000 per year, for 35 years at 8% returns, you'll have $1.3 million, tax-free. That's your real retirement, not Social Security. Step 3. Invest the difference. You're already paying 6.2% of your income to Social Security. You can't get out of that. It's mandatory. But you can match it yourself. Take another 6.2% of your income and invest it in index funds. If you make $60,000, that's $3,720 a year. Over 40 years at 8%, that's $1.1 million. That's what Social Security stole from you. Build it back yourself. Step 4. Plan for higher taxes in retirement. When Social Security collapses, the government will need money. Where will they get it? Taxes. Expect higher income taxes, higher capital gains taxes, maybe even wealth taxes. Diversify your tax exposure now. Roth accounts, tax-free, taxable brokerage accounts, capital gains rates, real estate, depreciation benefits. Spread your money across different tax treatments. Step 5. Consider geographic arbitrage. If Social Security cuts happen and your retirement income drops by 23%, you need your expenses to drop by 23% too. The easiest way? Move somewhere cheaper. A $2,000 per month lifestyle in California becomes a $1,000 per month lifestyle in many other states or countries. Geographic arbitrage is how you maintain your standard of living even if your income drops. The inflation adjustment lie. Here's one more lie they're telling you. Social Security has cost of living adjustments. Every year, they adjust benefits for inflation using the CPI, Consumer Price Index. Sounds fair, right? Wrong. The CPI dramatically understates real inflation, especially for retirees. It underweights healthcare, which is exploding in cost, and housing, also exploding. So your Social Security benefit gets a 2% annual increase, while your actual costs go up 5 to 7%. Every year, you get poorer in real terms. Even if Social Security survives, even if you get your full benefits, inflation will erode the purchasing power. That $1,900 per month benefit today will feel like $1,000 per month in 20 years. The uncomfortable truth. Here's the reality nobody wants to say out loud. Social Security is a generational wealth transfer from young to old. Boomers paid into a system when there were plenty of workers and benefited from it. Gen X is getting some benefits, but not as much as they paid in. Millennials and Gen Z will pay their entire lives and get almost nothing. It's not sustainable. It never was. The only reason it worked this long is because the baby boom created a huge worker-to-retiree ratio that temporarily made the math work. But that's over. The boomers are retiring. The birth rate is collapsing. The math is broken. And the people making promises they can't keep, they'll be dead or retired by the time the system collapses. You're on your own. Social Security is not going to save you. The trust fund runs out in 10 years. Benefits get cut by 23% minimum. Politicians won't fix it because every solution is political suicide. If you're under 50, you need to act like Social Security doesn't exist. Max out your retirement accounts. Invest aggressively. Build your own safety net. Because the government's safety net has holes in it. Big holes. And you're going to fall through unless you build your own. This isn't about being pessimistic. This is about being realistic. The math is public. The timeline is set. The collapse is coming. The only question is, are you going to prepare? Or are you going to be one of the millions of people who get blindsided? If this video was a wake-up call you needed, hit that like button and subscribe to Money Context for more financial truth they don't want you to know. Drop a comment. How old are you? And are you counting on Social Security or planning without it? Let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next one.